Spruce Hill Outdoors. Got a new gun here I'm going to try out. If you can't figure out by now, I like lever actions. I've done a lever action video for a 357, for a 30-30, for a 22. Now I've got the 360 Buckhammer. This is a Henry, made by Henry. It's got a walnut 4-inch stock. I got a Leopold 3-9x50 scope on it. And what I'm doing today, I'm trying to figure out what load it likes the best. Now this gun uses only 2 loads you can find right now. They have Remington 180 grain and 200 grain, and Federal 180 grain and 200 grain. So I'm going to shoot the two 180 grains first, 50 yards, see how they do. And then I'm going to put 2 new targets up, and we're going to shoot the 200 grains at 50 yards and see how they do. And after that, I'm going to put targets up at 100 yards and shoot them and see how they do at 100 yards. So that's what this is about. I'll do a little closer video of the bullets and the gun here so you can get a closer look at it, and then we'll get the target set up and we'll get shooting. Alright, what I did here, what the 360 Buckhammer is, it's a 30-30 case necked up to take a 358 caliber bullet. On the right here is a 30-30 round, 150 grain. On the left is the Buckhammer with 180 grain round. So that's what they look like in comparison. And so I have Remington 180, Remington 200, Federal 200, and Federal 180. So we're going to shoot those at 50 yards. Here's a closer look at the gun. If you look, it's got nice checkering, nice walnut 4-end. It's actually got beautiful wood. I covered that wood up with that bullet holder to protect the wood because it's so pretty. But here's what it looks like. So we're gonna shoot that at 50 yards. I'll show you my target setup out there. See the 2 targets, there's 2 orange targets there. So I'm gonna be shooting that, and we'll see how they do. All right, there's our first target. This first target is gonna be Remington 180 grain, 3 shots. We'll see how it does. All right, folks, here we are up to target. That was the first 3 shots, 180 grain, 50 yards. I'm not real happy with that at 50 yards. I'm hoping it does better than that with one of the other ammos. But that's what we got so far. So that was Remington 180. Now we're going to go down here to this target. We're going to shoot the Federal 180 and see how it compares to the Remington 180. We'll do that next. All right, here we are back up to target. That was the Remington. This was the Federal. Both of them hitting a little low, but the groups are actually about the same. So maybe it'll like the 200 grain better. That's not bad, but I like it a little closer than that. But I said it's a new caliber they came out with, and only two ammos I could find. They do have another one. Federal has one. It's called the Hammer Down. It's a 220 grain bullet, but they don't sell them around here yet. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put up 2 fresh targets, and I'm going to shoot. You know what? Maybe I won't even put up 2 new targets. I'll just leave these 2 targets up. I'm going to shoot the Remington 200 grain here and the Federal 200 grain down there, since I only have 3 holes in the target. So we'll see how the 200 grains do. All right, back up here at the target. Now, 200 grain had 1 hit here, and the other 2 hit right here, which is pretty nice. But that, that one over here, that's a pretty far group. But I said the gun is brand new, and sometimes you have to fire so many rounds through them to break the barrel in before it really starts to shoot good groups. But so that was the Remington 200 grain, and we're going to do the Federal 200 grain down here at the bottom and see how it does. All right. Well, the Federal 200 grain, the first one hit right next to the bullseye. I thought that was pretty good, but then the next one hit down here and the other one hit over here. So that's pretty bad for 50 yards. Remington, they all grouped pretty good. And the Federal all but that one. So I think what we'll do now, I'm going to set targets up at 100 yards. And we'll see how they do at 100 yards. All right, I got my 100-yard target range set up. The top 2 are going to be the 180 grain. The bottom 2 are going to be the 200 grain. Now, as I shoot, I might make adjustments to the scope because I want it to be on at 100 yards. So we'll see how it goes. All right, folks, we're up here at the targets now. This first target was 180 grain Remington. Now, the first shot hit down here. I realized it was shooting low, so I made an adjustment. And then the next two come up here. So I made another adjustment to get it into the bullseye and shot 3 different shots. So that's the 3 shots with the Remington 180. So then I moved over to the Federal 180 and I shot 3 shots right there. 1, 2, 3. Them 2 are touching. So after I was all finished shooting all the rounds, I realized that the Hornady 180 was going to be the load that the gun liked. So I made an adjustment from here to get it here. So that's where it's actually hitting. If I just slide these over, that's where it's hitting now. So that was the last shot. So these 3 were for the group. This was just sighting it in. Now for the 200 grain, they shot 1, 2, 3, 4 inches high. Here's the first one, or this was the first one, this was the second one, this was the third one. So that's the 3 200 grain Remingtons. So they shot a little bit high. And then I went over here to the Federal 200 grains. I got 1 in the bullseye, 1 up high, and 1 down low. So I would say the gun doesn't really like the 200 grains that well, but it really likes this Federal 180 grain. You can see the barrel finally started getting broke in after shooting those first several shots, and then that's a good group for 100 yards. So that's what I'll be shooting with, the Federal 180s, until they come out with some other ammo for it, and I'll try those and see how they do. But for now, I'm happy with that. So that's the way it worked out. But that's the 360 Buckhammer. They say it's faster than the 30-30, but with a bigger bullet. Faster than a 35 Remington, and faster than a 350 Legend. So, and I like the lever action, so I'm happy with that. And I really like that group there. That's nice. I like that. So Federal won this competition, and 180 grain beat out the 200 grain. So now I know what ammo to buy and stock up for that gun, because that's the one it seems to like. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.